The surprising true story of how Pokémon was born. How Pokémon was born is one of the most surprising origin stories in gaming history. It didn't start with a company. It didn't start with a business pitch. It didn't even start with a dream of becoming one of the biggest franchises on Earth. It started with one shy kid who loved collecting bugs. As a child growing up in rural Japan, Satoshi Tajiri spent hours exploring fields, forests, and riverbanks near his home. He wasn't interested in sports. He wasn't interested in crowds. He was interested in the tiny, crawling world beneath every rock and leaf. He caught beetles, cicadas, and mantises. He traded insects with friends, like other kids traded toys. He studied their behavior, their patterns, their habitats. To him, the world was one enormous adventure filled with tiny discoveries waiting just around the corner. His friends even gave him a nickname. They called him Dr. Bug. But as he grew older, something heartbreaking began to happen. The forests where he once played were replaced by apartment buildings. The streams he explored were covered with concrete. And the open fields where he once spent entire afternoons searching for beetles slowly disappeared. Nature was shrinking. Arcades were growing. Suddenly, instead of kids chasing bugs outside, they were chasing high scores inside. The world changed so fast that Tajiri felt like his childhood was evaporating right in front of him. But instead of holding on to sadness, he let it spark a question that would quietly change the world. What if kids could feel the same excitement of finding and collecting creatures, even in a digital world? What if a video game could bring back the magic that nature once gave him? What if adventure didn't disappear? What if it simply evolved? That question became the tiny spark that would eventually ignite Pokémon. Tajiri imagined creatures hiding in tall grass, waiting for players to discover them. He imagined rare ones, common ones, mysterious ones, all inspired by the sense of wonder he felt as a child. He imagined trading them with friends, just like he traded beetles as a kid. He imagined battling not to dominate, but to connect, to learn, to explore. He wanted a game built on curiosity instead of pure competition, discovery instead of destruction, friendship instead of isolation. But there was a problem, a big one. Tajiri had almost no money, and worse, he had no programming experience. Still, he refused to give up. He spent years studying how games were made, how hardware worked, and how digital worlds came to life. He learned through trial and error, failure and frustration, late nights and early mornings. And when he finally felt ready, he gathered the courage to pitch Nintendo. But the meeting didn't go the way he imagined. Nintendo didn't understand the idea at first: collecting creatures, trading with friends, invisible monsters in hidden places. It sounded strange. It sounded risky. It sounded like nothing that had ever been done before. But there was something even stronger than their confusion. They felt his passion. They saw the spark in his eyes. They sensed the nostalgia, the imagination, the childlike wonder behind his idea. And they took a chance. That chance became Pokémon Red and Green, a pair of small Game Boy cartridges that would soon grow into a global phenomenon. Kids all around the world began doing exactly what Tajiri dreamed of: exploring, discovering, trading, connecting. Suddenly, playgrounds were filled with excitement. Backpacks were filled with link cables, and conversations were filled with phrases like, "Did you catch it yet?" And "I'll trade you if you trade me." Pokémon became more than a game. It became a worldwide language of childhood adventure. It spawned an anime, movies, cards, tournaments, toys, artwork, and countless memories passed down from one generation to the next. And all of it, every character, every region, every creature came from one man who refused to let his childhood wonder fade away. He turned nostalgia into imagination. He turned imagination into a universe that continues to grow, expand, and inspire millions of people today. The truth is simple. Pokémon wasn't just created. it was remembered. A feeling from childhood became a world. A hobby became a legacy. And one boy's love for bugs became one of the most iconic franchises in human history. Leave a comment below. Share, like, follow, and subscribe for more.